Hi everybody. Welcome to wow, I've forgotten the name of the Shadow Beneath Ivory. The next game on our Game Haven schedule. I'm gonna be the DM, Jordan. Why don't we do a quick run around of who we are and who your characters are before we jump right into it. Let's start with Lucha, since you are to my left.
I'm the Lucha Bear, and I'm going to play Varnak, a Goliath Ranger.
Awesome. Cool. All right, let's go with Bill next.
I am Bill, aka Philadelphia, and I will be playing an Elven Ranger named Walker.
I love it. All right.
Texas Ranger.
Yep, exactly. Smitty.
I am at PBSmitty. Most places call me Smitty, and I will be playing the half-orc cleric Zachariah.
Ikandi.
Hi, I'm Kayla, or Ikandi as people know me. I'm gonna be playing Gwump the Glitter Grump.
Ooh, I'm so excited. And finally, Jeremy.
Hey, I'm Jeremy, and I am playing Glitter Boy, aka James Hetfield.
Awesome. So, just to give a little bit of backstory, this is actually going to be taking place in my homebrew world of Ampistrano, which Bill is actually in. So I had to double check to make sure that there were no spoilers in here for the campaign he is currently in. But so we're a bit late on the rules. I kind of go with if it makes sense and if everybody's having fun and in agreement with it, let's do it. So without further ado, let's dive into our episode. So we begin within the frigid north of Ampistrano, the true adventurer's paradise, as many call it. It not only tests you physically with its snow-capped mountains of Ilorsk, but it also has mysterious beasts. And it can test you mentally as well. Adventurers are often seen going blind and walking off away from their camps, or from the shore isolation, going mad. In spite of all this, you have set out from a much warmer climate, summoned to the port town of Polaris, a hidden gem placed in the north. It's a major trade point for various goods, as well as a political hub for diplomats to meet when journeying from their households. Weary now, after 13 days of travel through the icy environment. Let's see. Now I have to go to what you roll. Gwump. You have adapted to this environment very easily, in spite of never having been here before. Yes, it has been cold every now and then, but you're not feeling the effects so much. Walker, you had a couple days where you were in and out. It seemed like you might get hypothermic almost. You were really struggling for a while, and it was hit or miss, but talking to Gwump the last few days has energized you. You're getting close to your mission. Now, Glitter Boy, you were started off strong, but over the last few days, you've been slowly declining as the frigid temperatures have been settling in. You've been sluggish, a little bit moving more slowly. Every now and then, you've been seeing shadows moving across your path and voices that may not necessarily be there. Lucha and Zachariah, you two bright stars started this mission with so much passion and enjoyment. However, it has been slightly dimmed by the snow and isolation, as well as adjusting to your new environment. Voices can be heard even when no one's there. You could swear it when you take watch at night that someone's standing there, but they're not actually there. After 13 days of this, you suddenly see before you large stone walls showing the sign of Polaris as the setting sun sets to the west. As you adventurers are walking, you notice on the ground what seems to be several planks of wood sticking out of the icy road. What would you like to do?
Are they uprights or flat?
Looking at them, they're kind of haphazard. It's not like a fence. It looks like like a kid's bedroom, like or playroom with blocks kind of just thrown about. Everything seems very haphazard. And it seems very jarring that, you're walking on this icy path. And so far you've seen, creatures or other beasts walking along or peeking out of any sort of wood that's in the area, like a wooded glade. But these, why don't you roll perception for me or investigation?
10.
Okay. Well, you have a little bit of experience with this through your many performances and, having that kind of background of seeing a craftsman at his best, whether it be making up a stage or working in that area. The wood is very nicely sanded, and it seems like it has a distinct purpose, but you're not exactly sure what. You get the hint of the scent of something, but you're not exactly sure of what either. What are the rest of you doing?
Hey, do you like the rest of you see like all this wooden stuff?
Is this uncommon? Have we not seen any wood in our travels?
Not like this. If you want to roll perception or investigation as well.
Okay, I'm gonna do perception.
Okay.
Walk over and check out this wood. 19 plus 8. That's a 27.
All right. Through your travels, you can definitely tell when wood from a fallen tree has fallen across the road or something like that. This looks like it's part of something bigger, and it has been completely broken up. The wood is very sanded down. While it is broken and splintered on the ends, as you're kind of holding up a piece about this big, it's jagged. But you can see as you're kind of taking it in, it has a sea scent to it.
Oh, a sea scent?
Yeah, like the ocean.
I can smell the ocean when I sniff this wood.
Mm-hmm.
I take a big, long sniff, and I look at the rest of you and I say, well, it seems as though this has traveled very far. This is seawood. Can I get a sense of if I can get a read on if this was like part of a big wagon or something that just like broke apart? Or
based off of that roll, I'm not going to have you roll again. You can tell looking at it, and upon further investigation, it has a letter, like the beginnings of a letter branded on it. It looks like it might have come off possibly a ship.
Well, that's interesting. It looks like this was part of a ship. And I'm kind of like looking around to see if there's like an ocean or a sea.
You do see the ocean is like...
Oh, well, that makes a whole bunch of sense. I mean, there's a sea right there, just kind of...
You do see, that's what I was saying earlier, the sun is setting on the sea to the west.
I missed the C part.
Yeah,
Sorry,
me too.
That was my bad.
No, it's not. No.
Yes. So you do see the sea, and then you actually see, or the ocean, and you actually see ahead of you, still taking along that path. There's more pieces of pieces of wood, but they're in larger chunks. So you're actually at one point you're looking at the bow of one of these ships is completely like on the path that you guys are taking, and further ahead is what looks to be Polaris.
So there's like a trail of boat pieces?
Yeah.
I want to follow the trail.
All right.
I'm following.
Yes.
Zachariah took a moment when the party stopped to kneel down and pulled out his bag. He kind of mutters to himself, "For 13 days and 13 nights, I have been walking amongst this snow, and my feet have been freezing. Even the inner holy fire of the Destrano has not warmed me. And of all these voices I have heard, hers has not come through. And yet, this morning, as we walked along, finally, her grace fell upon me and reminded me that one of my uncommon items are the boots of the Winterland, which I will now put on, which I perhaps should have done 13 days ago before we trekked this icy wasteland. And I will put on my boots.
All right. So you see Zachariah quickly taking off his other boots and putting the new ones on.
There now.
Vanek, what are you doing?
I'm just gonna follow Glitter Boy and Wump.
Okay. And Walker.
Yeah, I kind of hang back for a couple of seconds. I take another read on the landscape and I hustle after them after they've already left.
Okay. All right. So you guys make your way down the path. It extends forward about another 4 or 5 miles, but eventually you see the city within it. It's in your reach. You see these large stone walls that extend upwards. There's snow mounds everywhere. Basically picture like Frozen, the town. It's basically here. But why don't each of you roll perception checks for me, please?
Ooh, fire. Not 20.
Thanks.
24 total.
19.
2.
16.
What was it, Guam?
It was a 2.
Oh, you're too enamored by all of a sudden going from isolation to all of a sudden there's people everywhere just milling about the town. It's very, very busy. And I'm sorry, Jeremy, did you say yours?
15.
15. Okay. So everyone that rolled above a 14, you guys see it seems like a very busy port trades town. There's lots of people milling about. The shops are open and moving. You hear different merchants calling for different various goods that they have. But there's two things that you notice. Towards the west, where the ports actually are, the docks, you notice that there is only one ship left in the harbor. The rest are gone, minus in the very center of Polaris. There is a large building that looks almost like a cathedral with a large spire that extends upward, piercing the sky. Atop of that perch, though, is a large ship that has been basically skewered onto the spire.
I'm doing the dog head tilt.
Yeah, it definitely does not look like it. That was architecturally meant to be there.
I look at the rest of the crew and I say, do any of you have experience with the sailing vessels? And if so, is that normal?
I was quite recently on an island, and it took us quite some time to get there, sailing across the open seas. And I must tell you, at no point during our journey did we find ourselves on top of a cathedral.
Well, I guess there you go. Vedic, I know you're also a member of the ranger species. In your travels, looking around, have you ever seen a ship that has been atop of a cathedral like this?
Nope.
Asked and answered. All right.
And similarly, all of you notice that while every now and then people in the crowd will look up and kind of gawk at the ship, mostly they're going about their day as normal.
Are there any passers-by that we can accost?
Why don't you roll? I won't make you roll. As you are kind of walking, are you walking into the town or are you kind of still standing at the gates?
I mean, I leave that to Gwump. She was running point.
Yeah, you Gwump.
You're very quiet.
That better?
Yes.
There you go.
There you go.
I get to talk to people?
Yeah.
Who can I talk to?
Well, are you standing at the gates or did you want to walk ahead further towards the spire?
I walked in because I was enamored at all
Yeah.
the people.
You're enamored. There are in the different shops and stuff. There's like you see a fudge shop, you see a hot cocoa area. You see several signs for like a hot springs that's nearby as well. It's a very diverse town, even though it's in the middle of nowhere. But you definitely get the sense that it's almost like a resort as well as a port and trade town. So a lot of things happen here. But as you are kind of walking around and maybe gawking at one of the sweet shops, or you do see what looks like further down, they have winter jackets that are just bedazzled with different, gemstones of various colors. So you're kind of like immediately making your way towards that when all of a sudden you bump into what appears to be a large air genasi. I say large in the fact that it seems like they almost have a little bit of Goliath blood in them as well. They are very large in stature, about 6'8", 6'9". He is wearing a black cloak that kind of billows around him, and he, oh, my dear, are you all right?
I'm fine.
Well, and he's kind of dusting at this point like some of the snow off of himself and then off of you, like trying to help. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. It's been a hectic couple of days, and I'm so happy to see that the market is so busy, but I'm so sorry. I haven't introduced myself, and I know everyone here. My name is Mayor Archibald Ivory. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
And what's your name? I'm sorry.
My name is Gwump the Grump.
You don't seem quite grumpy.
Exactly. But you'd be intimidated if you heard about me.
Okay. Oh yes, I've heard of you. Yes. And at this point, he's kind of taking in the rest of you, like, oh, I don't believe I've seen any of you here before, and you see him like looking towards like the harbor where there's no ships. He goes, don't believe you came by boat, so I'm assuming you came through the gates.
Yep.
Who are you?
I'm Gwump the Grump.
But I know, my dear, I mean the others.
These are my friends.
Point of order, good sir. Did you say your name was Mayor?
No, it's
Is it part of your name?
essentially, because everybody says Mayor Archibald and Mayor Archie. So I tend to introduce myself theoretically in that sense, but I just wanted to also let you know I am the mayor.
I certainly understand. In that case, my name is Zachariah, but people call me the Wall Pastor, and I am pleased to make your acquaintance.
Pleasure is all mine. Oh, it looks like. Are you wearing anything of the Aegis on you?
I am. I'm wearing a necklace with the symbol of the Aegis on.
All right. He goes, oh, holy man. All right. Good to know. Good to know that we have a holy man amongst the bunch. I'm assuming you're all traveling together. And at this point, while you guys have kind of splintered off a little bit to the side of the street, like it's still very busy. We can do introductions. I'm assuming we have trade going on, but I'm assuming you guys look like adventurers here. Were you the ones that we asked for in terms of trying to fix our, you see him looking up at the problem.
I look around at the rest of the crew and say, oh, well, I don't know specifically about any requests for our appearance, but here we are. I mean, we're ready to make anything happen that you want. As adventurers, we're known to make things happen and make things unhappen.
Right.
Like, weren't we like summoned?
Yes, we did request aid from Lady Himelda, so I was assuming
Oops.
I was assuming that perhaps you were at that party.
Hey,
But
it's cold out there, man. I don't blame you.
Let me check the Discord.
it's fine. Don't worry about it, Belle. Well, that's fine. Why don't we go over to Felinda's hot chocolate shop and we can talk about business a bit more, as well as your payment. I'm assuming that's the main reason that you guys have decided to journey all the way up here.
I'm here for the hot cocoa, man.
Okay.
I heard it was great.
Yeah, we do have some amazing hot cocoa.
Excellent.
It's made with a very special syrup as well. It makes it very relaxes you very much.
I may have
Sure.
come for the hot
Eat
cocoa,
breakfast.
but I am absolutely staying for the ship that is atop the Dawn Cathedral.
Yes, that would be why we request your aid. Please do follow me. And at this point, you see that he does have two attendants that are kind of flanking him on either side that are holding like a number of parcels and different bags as well. And he kind of turns to them and goes, "Take them back to the office. I'll be there eventually." Business, of course. And then he leads you further down the main pathway. So you're getting closer to the spire with the ship on top of it. And it still looks, you can see that they're still picking up pieces of wreckage around the spire as you kind of come out into this square. And there's just, you see ropes, you see parts of sail, you see part of a mast kind of is toppling part of a building. It just looks wrecked in here. But what's more is you're noticing more and more parts of different ships have kind of been
so it's
strewn
about
about the
dusk.
area as well. But eventually he leads you into the quaint hot chocolate shop of Faldus, where
I
it's
think we should get some dinner, and
immediately
then I think
the
we should
warmth
stay here tonight.
and embrace of chocolate
then
enters.
Before Bobby leaves,
And you
ask him
guys
where
find
the
a nice
fields
little
are, and then
area
go
right
there.
by the fire with hot chocolate or ale or
Balzar
whatever you
says,
guys
I
would
can
like.
tell you where the fields are. Should be pretty straightforward for you to get there. I'm gonna keep.
I'm
Bobby
heading right
here
over to
for
the
the night.
hot cocoa
So,
stand or whatever,
You guys are
however
gonna
they
head
serve
out.
it.
We'll head out after
Alright.
you guys leave.
It's kind of
Okay.
like a.
We're leaving the first night, right?
If we have
Yeah,
places around here that are called Very Yummy, where you can like get
All adventurers
like
always like to
scoop
leave
your
at
own
first
ice cream.
light.
It's kind of like you scoop
Nobody
your
likes
own
to
hot
sleep
chocolate, so you just hold the cup underneath
There's no time
and just
for
watch
that.
it pour out.
Yeah.
And they
There's
have
literally no
you see there's like a hot chocolate with some
Okay.
caramel. There's a hot
Alright, what do you
chocolate
do
with
for the rest of the
peppermint.
evening?
There's tons of
Drinking.
hot chocolate.
All right.
What?
I'm gonna do like a
Dwarf,
little
what
bit
else
of
do
each.
dwarfs do?
Okay, fair enough.
I'll
Like
invite
icy
you guys some
machines
drinks.
at a 7-Eleven.
That's
Yep.
nice.
And you see actually like the
So the
spoons
drinks are on the
themselves
house
to like stir
tonight
up your hot
because,
chocolate or like
you
little
were gonna be doing
gingerbread
a
men.
favor
So
for
they're like
Balsar and
Yeah.
Bobby.
all good
Ooh,
things.
I want to try that.
What are the rest of you doing?
I can't
I'm
pronounce
also
what
going
you
to get
said.
some
The
hot
strangled
cocoa,
Pinot
and then
Noir.
I'll pull out a little
Yeah,
bit of
that.
a little flask.
You don't like
and
it, it's not
pour a little
sweet.
bit of hot cocoa, and I'll hold it
I
out to Glitter Boy.
definitely
and say,
like it as a dwarf.
"Spirit
Life
for the
just-
spirit."
Like, what is
Actually-
it?
Righteous, man.
Actually, it's
Boop, boop, boop,
pretty
pour a little mist,
good
put it away.
Awesome.
by all other standards. For a wine,
I go and
Even
get
the
some
dwarf-
hot chocolate, and then I load it up with whipped cream and put all the edible glitter on there.
There is a lot of glitter. And also you notice too, there is vanilla hot chocolate as well for those people out there that don't necessarily like chocolate. So, but each of you, if you want to get chocolate, or they have other stuff too. But eventually you find yourself sitting at the table. The mayor is already, despite his very serious manner, you see he's got a rather large like mug of hot chocolate just standing in front of him. So let's see your payment. And at this point, he folds out like a small folder and starts rustling through the papers a bit. Let's see. That's right. Oh, yes. It was 10,000 gold split between the party if they were able to complete this task. Correct. That is what you agree to, right?
Plus per diem and other expenses as required.
It's fair. We definitely can do. So, Polaris is a very important town, and I take my job as mayor very seriously. Normally, we have a lot more ships in the harbor, but as you've noticed from the recent remodel, that's not quite exactly true. We had noticed over the past couple days that large portions of our ships had either been attacked, although they were in the water at the time. It wouldn't be the whole ship, but one day we would come out and anybody that was on a vacant ship or perhaps was sleeping on one of their ships would all of a sudden wake up and they would be out in the cold as part of their ship had been ripped off. So you can imagine our surprise. Then one morning, about 4 days ago, must have been just after midnight, we heard actually a loud noise. And the next thing we knew, we saw several ships flying through the air, as well as a loud roar that was occupying this as well. Now, we're from the north, and apologies, you don't necessarily look like northerners here, but we do have a number of creatures that are both big and small that from time to time can cause the town a little bit of trouble. But we often get our fair share of adventurers here to pass through and potentially fix the problem. But with everyone going down to the capital to aid with what's going on down there, we've been a bit short-handed. So that's why we put out the help, because most people here don't really know their way around a sword or a bow too much. So we were definitely looking for any sort of assistance in this matter.
So you say these ships were just tossed about in the town, taken
Yes.
from the... Sounds like a real ship show if you ask me.
Yes,
I'll quietly drink my hot cocoa.
Yeah, you could definitely say so, Pastor Zachariah. You could definitely say so.
That's wall pasta.
Wall
Zachariah,
pasta.
sir.
I got apologies. But yes, you can imagine our surprise completely. And amongst that, we were able to save several of our tradespeople and sales fishermen that were on the boats at this time. But they are just as confused as we are as to what exactly happened.
Walker, Elven Ranger, what do you make of this?
I rightly don't know. I don't know of any creatures that could do something like this. My specialty is humanoids. Do you have any idea, and I'm talking to the mayor now, roughly about where, if there was a focal point of where this activity had happened?
Well, we've been running some surveys around the town to be able to tell what exactly might have happened, whether it came from the land or from the sea. We're not exactly sure, but based off of evidence that has recently come up as of the last couple of days, we have a pretty good idea of where it came from. Once we could take our hot cocos to go, and I'm assuming you want to do that, or are you weary and you want to rest for a bit? It is getting quite late, but it's up to
I don't
you.
know about the rest of you, man, but I am tired.
It has been a long journey. So why don't we take our hot cocos and maybe put a little bit of spice into it and call it a night?
That would be, if it's agreeable. And then I can also recommend, there's the Thermia Inn. It's right near port, as well as I could have someone come by tomorrow morning and take you to where we've been investigating some of the clues as well.
Righteous.
I'm gonna hang back as we walk to the inn a little bit and try and grab Vanek. Vanek, we have relied on your keen eyesight and intuition along the road, and I ask, although I know you are of the forest, that you turn those senses inward here in the city. I feel something might be amiss, and we would sorely appreciate your insight as we move through this new and puzzling set of circumstances.
Good question. I have no idea.
Well, at least as a group, we are all on the same page.
All right.
Continue on.
Can I hang back and talk to the mayor?
Sure.
Okay, cool. It seems as though there's lots of these thermal baths and hot springs and hot cocoa and hot chocolate, hot fudge. I understand all of the consumable goods, but what about these hot springs, hot baths? Are they comfortable?
Oh, they're the most comfortable in the continent, I can assure you.
How are they powered? Is it geothermal? Just curious.
Not exactly. He looks very confused.
I'm just really interested in your springs. That's all.
Most people are. That's why they journey here whenever they want to break from their noble estates or just passing through. They want to have a refresher before hitting the road, as you and your comrades have recently been doing. So,
is there an entry fee?
I believe it costs about 50 gold.
Do we have to bring towels?
They have towels there.
Okay, cool. I do not have a bathing suit. Is that a problem?
I believe we can probably provide one for you.
Okay.
Do I overhear this?
Did you leave?
As a note.
Well, I thought we were all kind of going together. It was the mayor.
No, he hung back a bit.
I'm not trying to hide it. So if it's
no,
not...
but I mean, you could still be drinking your hot cocoa.
Most people without bathing suits aren't trying to hide anything, though.
Okay.
All right.
Yep. That's all I needed. Thank you.
Okay. So the mayor, he eventually leads you back out of the hot chocolate, Feldo's hot chocolate place, and leads you over to Thermia, which you can see for the most part, like the inn itself, half of it has been torn asunder by another like mass that has landed on half of the inn, but the other half is still functioning. You can see they're like pulling everybody into one side of the they have like a tavern that was set up to go across the entire first floor, so they're kind of sanctioning everybody off. You can see pieces of wood and cloth that they've kind of draped over the portions that have been destroyed, but eventually you guys are able to get rooms. It's going to cost you about 25 gold for the night.
Jeez. A person?
For a room.
Okay.
Don't forget, costs and expenses are included.
Very true.
Host, if you will, room service for all of us, as if we were all eating for 4 different people.
And then at that point, you see a small halfling a woman step out from like behind the bar, and she goes,
"Oh yes, well, will you be dining all together or will you be separately? Like eating together? Are you gonna like you seem like you're all together? Or are you going to eat separately?
Like together, I assume, man.
I don't know. We sometimes get people that like to eat by themselves.
No, we're all going to be together, of course.
Oh, okay, just clarifying, sir. Sorry.
But still send the room service to our individual rooms for late night snacks and whatnot. You can put it on the tab.
Oh, okay.
and she quickly bustles off into the kitchen. You just hear, order everything up. You just hear everything. a bunch of stuff. But you guys are ushered up to your rooms, and you see that you guys have like a suite. So there's a main like dining area, and then you guys have different rooms, adjoining rooms, leading into this main area. And after several minutes, food is brought up.
Oh, excellent.
You see what looks like a large ham. There's some turkey, tons of ale. There's a garden salad if you want to have that. Lots of soups.
Gluten-free option.
Yep, gluten-free options. And then, of course, since it's a port town, there's also lots of fish.
Is there hot cocoa?
Of course, there's hot cocoa.
Any fudge?
Of course, there is. You
I'm
guys
just
ordered the entire menu.
I'm just chowing down on fudge and drinking my hot cocoa.
It's like the Hogwarts feast. All of a sudden, the food appears, and it's everything. It's there.
Yeah, I'm carb loading through sugar.
Just eating the edible glitter by the spoonful.
I'm a little concerned that none of us remembered that it was Himelda that sent us here. Do you all think perhaps something happened on the road to rob us of that very important detail? I myself heard several voices.
Like I knew somebody sent us, but I couldn't remember who.
Gwump?
I'm concerned about the voices you were hearing. What were they saying?
They were like, "It's so cold. You should lay down and be more cold." And I thought, this does not make sense. But I was lonely, so I continued to let them in, even though I did not heed what they were saying.
Oh, sorry you were lonely.
It's okay. Thank you, though.
Anytime.
Did anybody else hear any voices?
Yeah, I did.
Were they saying a similar thing to what War Pastor Zacharias said?
Exactly the same.
Well, that's problematic.
Did you hear that one guy with like the Quebecois accent? I found him most annoying of all the voices.
No.
Well, I'm not sure whether that makes me feel better or worse.
I wonder if that has anything to do with these ships being tossed around. If there's some kind of spiritual element to it. Are you sure that's not what ships are supposed to do, by the way?
I only had the one experience, but I have to say it was not even like a possibility. At no point did the captain say, "Should we continue forward towards the island, or should we hang a quick turn to port and end up on top of a cathedral?" I'm just saying, it's all experiential information, but such is the case. Perhaps we should just adjourn for the evening and find out in the morning what we could.
That sounds good. My feet are hella tired.
Oh, I know that the sport is really good, man. We should have some.
Careful of that tryptophan, glitter boy.
Mm-hmm.
It's the turkey's chock full of it. It'll make you fall asleep just like that.
I had a cousin named Tryptophan. Well, he was all right.
But the rest of you after a full night's meal, you guys settle in for rest. And for once in the last 13 days, you actually are warm. You are snug as a bug on a rug in your beds.
There's bed bugs?
No. There's no beds.
Right.
They're hot chocolate bugs. No, I'm kidding.
Can
But let's see. Why don't each of you roll perception for me, please?
all these perception rolls.
Mm-hmm.
10 for me.
10.
23.
All right.
10.
9.
It's all right,
Aw.
Lucha.
So much disappointment in that voice.
22.
Okay. So everyone but Gwump and Walker are able to go to bed pretty quickly.
Aw.
And are able to drown out the loud noises that are outside. You guys are adjusting a bit. You can hear people partying outside for 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. When the both of you all of a sudden hear a noise, and all of a sudden the cheers from outside turn from joyful to now they're screaming.
What kind of sound was that again? Wait, what?
do I see that
What did
Gwump
the-
is
What did the
Gwump-
closed captioning put for that?
Can I see if Gwump is like stirring, or because I assume it's just the two of us awake right now, right?
You guys are in different. Did you guys room together, or are you in separate rooms? I'm assumed that she had roomed up with Glitter Boy.
I fell asleep at the table.
Oh, you fell asleep at the table.
The tryptophan, man.
Yeah.
I just found a random corner and laid there.
Okay, you can see that she's up.
I hop out of whatever position I'm currently sleeping in, and I walk over to her, and I'm kind of quiet before we wake up anybody. And I say, "Hey, did you hear that?
I heard that. What was it?
I don't know. Do you think we should wake everybody up?"
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. I'm probably gonna walk over to Vanek, assuming that we had a lot of conversations, really ranger-based conversations, and just kind of shake him awake and say, "Hey, Vanek, is I don't know what's going on downstairs, but there's some kind of screaming. Best pop out of bed so we can go downstairs and check."
Okay.
All right. So you guys, sorry, sorry, like zoning out for a minute. So you head downstairs, and immediately you start to hear the noises a lot louder, people running and in a panic. And as you guys what are you doing? Are you going all the way to the door and peeking out? Are you going to a window? What are you doing exactly?
I mean, I would assume, for me at least, that I would at least. I mean, I definitely want to see what's going on, but I don't want to make my presence known.
Okay. Why don't you roll stealth for me then?
Okay, cool. Vanek, I do not want to speak for you, so whatever you want to do, buddy.
I guess I'm going to a window and try to see anything outside.
Okay. Why don't you also roll stealth for me, Vanek?
Okay.
So for me, it was a 15 plus 9, 24.
All right.
20.
All right. So you each move towards the door and a window. And as you are looking outside, you see people are running all over the place. But all of a sudden, you see coming down from the rooftop of the building that's across from you, there seems to be this white, almost icicle-like creature that's kind of moving on all fours. It has these large pincers that it's walking on. All of a sudden, you see it kind of jump and land on a number of passerbys that are quickly trying to escape. And one by one, you see they turn into snow and drop.
Do I see this downstairs?
You, Vanek and you are both downstairs, so you both see this. Yes.
I look directly in Vanek's eyes, and I'm like,
Okay.
we should definitely get the rest of the people up. Let's hurry back
Yep.
upstairs.
Yep.
At that point, as you're just saying that, all of a sudden there's an impact on the window that Vonik is by. And all of a sudden a person you see is trying to climb in. Just as one of these creatures is just lunging in as well. You see it pierce what looks to be a half-elf that was trying to climb in through the window. And all of a sudden, into snow. And I need the two of you to roll initiative as well as everybody else.
Okay.
Man, that got there quick.
Yeah, everybody else is sleeping.
Yeah.
Well,
Should
this
we
will be
roll
initiative to see how long
disadvantage?
it takes for them to wake up.
So it's a 15 for Walker.
Okay.
11.
18 for Zachariah.
12.
20.
Womp, were you just sitting in your corner? Or did you? Because you were awake, right?
Yeah, I was awake.
Right, just wondering. Trying to see who's all awake. It's you and me, Zachariah.
So you see the creature that lunged forward and got that half elf is now going to lunge and try and hit Vonik because they rolled higher. That is going to be a 19 a hit.
Yep.
All right. So it moves forward with its pincer extending forward, aiming what looks to be the area right by your collarbone. And you are going to take 14 piercing damage. And I need you to make a Constitution savings throw, please.
The 7.
Okay, 7. So it pierces into the armor. It manages to find just an area of vulnerability in between your armor plates. And as it pierces through, you actually feel for a moment like you can feel the ice starting to slowly overtake your shoulder to the point that it's starting to become numb a little bit. So you're going to take an additional 5 points of ice damage.
Okay.
Gwump. I keep wanting to say a mixture of the both. All right, what are you doing? You hear at this point downstairs a ruckus happening as more chaos is breaking out, and now you can actually hear it within the building.
I try to wake everyone else that's in the room up.
Okay. All right. How are you going about doing that?
I'm kicking them in the shin.
Okay. All right. Next up is Zachariah. Why don't you roll to see if you can wake up? So that'll be perception.
Nope. 7.
You feel a very sharp pain all of a sudden. You're not sure if maybe it's the voices or if it's just you're out in the cold. You're not sure if that hot cocoa was like some kind of fever dream. It's uncomfortable. Next up is Walker. So you just saw Vonik getting attacked.
So how close are they?
So the one that came in through the window and Vonik, he's probably about 6 or 7 feet away from you.
Okay. And what exactly does this thing look like?
So it looks, why don't you do a nature check for me?
Okay. Ooh, a dirty 20.
Nice. Okay. So you have traveled all over the continent. You've seen a vast array of different beasts. You can tell that it has similarities to a very large crab. Pincers that kind of extend forward. It looks almost like crystal. And then on its back, it has large spikes that jet out of just pure ice.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. So I'm going to do
about the same size as Vonik as well.
All right. Got it. So I'm going to do, same size as Vonik?
Mm-hmm. It's a big one.
He's a Goliath. You sure about that, Jordan?
I am actually sure of that.
You want to check your notes again?
This is not sleepy, Jordan. This is actually like legit.
All right.
Don't question the DM.
So I'm going to do a few things then, Jordan. I'm going to back up, and I'm going to pull out my long bow and aim it at the crab.
All right, go for it.
Okay, so I'm backing up aiming, I am also going to call out. Like I'm going to turn back and I'll be like, "Hey, there's bad guys here." I just when I turn backwards, it's a different accent than when I'm going.
I was going to say that.
I'm like, what happened there?
Character development. The true accent of Walker comes out.
Yeah, and then I'm going to cast as a bonus action a Hunter's Mark on this one.
Okay.
And then I'm going to shoot it.
All right, go for it.
With my
Pew,
longbow.
pew.
Pew, pew.
So this is a plus 11. I'm actually going to shoot it twice. So that's an 18.
18 hits.
And a 24. All right, so that is 2d8 plus 14. 2, 4, 18 damage.
All right. And so you're aiming it with these arrows, correct? So all of a sudden it just goes as it hits. And you see its head kind of, which was facing Vonik, slowly like cock its head in your direction. And you can almost hear like ice chipping as it's turning its head, looking in your direction now.
Cool.
Is there anything else that you would like to do, Walker?
Yeah, I want to read what Hunter's Mark does because I think I deal extra damage.
Yes, you do deal extra damage with that.
All right, so it's 1d6 extra
Yes.
damage. So, sorry, this is my first ranger.
No, hey, I played it for 2 years and I forgot Hunter's Mark half the time.
So it's only 3 damage.
Okay.
Okay, that's it.
All right. All right. Next up is Glitter Boy. You fell asleep, so I need you to roll.
Perception?
Yep.
19.
All right. You were having a nice dream of hot cocoa and wonderful good food, and you're just zoned out, and all of a sudden you hear that piercing noise again. And this point, you also hear Walker downstairs yelling, "Hey, we need help down here. Like the enemies are here," in whatever accent that was. So that kind of jostles you awake. And you can actually see like your hot cocoa, you've spilt it when you kind of woke up. What are you doing?
Did I get a splinting pain in my shin too?
You did as well.
Like, Quant, man. What's all the racket, man? I was having a great dream.
There's noises, people screaming. I think something's going on downstairs. We should go check it out.
Righteous, I get to hit stuff. All right.
All right. What are you doing? Are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna brandish my flail and shield and run down the stairs.
All right.
Yelling.
All right. That'll be your full movement.
Yep.
All right. And I'll let you, since do all that, I'll let you do a bonus, like a quick action of something.
If
you wanted to.
Yeah, actually. I'm going to I'm going to use my sacred weapon action and imbue my flail with some positive energy.
All right. All right. That's all I say that you can do for now, just because you did quite a bit. All right. Vonik, you are up. You were just attacked. Your left shoulder where the ice crab attacked you. You can feel it's gone numb. And actually kind of like taking a look at it, you actually see shards of ice and frost starting to stick out from the like underneath your armor, where they were able to pierce you. So think of like an 80s, like I'm blanking on the word, shoulder pad. What are you doing?
First I want to back up a little bit, so I'm not directly in front of it.
All right. How far back up are you going?
As far as I can.
Okay. You will get an opportunity attack if you do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I risk it.
All right. That'll be a 21 to hit.
Yep.
Okay. And this will be 12 points of piercing damage. It's just kind of, it sees you backing away, and this time it comes in with the opposite front claw, whatever you want to call it, and pierces in, just swiping you just a bit. But this time you don't feel the cold damage, but you definitely feel the pain for sure.
Okay. Then I want to get my longbow ready.
Okay.
And while I'm and I'm going to cast flame arrows on my quiver.
Nice. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Do I have another action?
Is the flame arrows an action or a bonus action?
One action.
It's an action. So you would have a bonus action to do something if you have anything available.
No.
Okay. All right. So you all of a sudden you see this light up at the end of your arrow as you're kind of getting ready to notch it. All right. Next up is the ice crab turn. And seeing that, let's see, Walker came into its viewpoint and caught its attention. It's going to move forward. It's going to make 2 attacks. So does an 18 hit and a 24?
Both of them do, in fact, hit. So congratulations. You've won our game.
All right. And I need you to make a con save, please.
All right. Just one?
Just for one. Yep.
Okay. Oh, so con save are actually pretty good. So that's a 21.
Okay. All right. That's going to be 20 piercing damage.
Ouch.
And all of a sudden you feel, again, just having seen Vonic deal with it, get pierced, kind of pinned. For a moment, you feel the skin on both of your shoulders. This is attempting to almost pierce you into the wall and trying to corner you into it. You feel for a moment the cold temperatures kind of pierce into your body, but you're just able to kind of shake it off just a bit. But that is the end of its turn. Zachariah, what are you doing? You're still sleeping?
Sleeping.
Yep. All right, roll to wake up.
12.
All right.
Yeah.
You're definitely hearing more of the noises now. So you're at this point you're waking up, but you're a little bit groggy. So you can move around, but you're going to be a little bit disoriented.
Cleanliness may be next to godliness, but sleepiness is nowhere in the mix.
All right. What would you're still allowed
Just
your movement?
getting all my accoutrement on, heading to the stairs, I guess.
All right. Next up is oh, I'm sorry. I missed you, Glump. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry. What are you doing?
I'm running down the stairs and I see everything going on, correct?
Yes. So at this point, you just see Glitter Boy is in front of you. You see the creature has now, I imagine that Glitter Boy was halfway down the stairs. You were probably just coming down as well. And then all of a sudden you see Walker is now kind of pinned up against where they had kind of made shift wood into the area of the broken. And this creature is trying to kind of pin him against the wall. So it's directly in front of you. What are you doing?
I've been waiting for this. I want to rage.
Yes!
And as I rage, glitter just erupts off my body. And
What
I
color?
take my great. It's purple, of course.
Of course.
It's every shade of purple. It's all of a sudden just
All
out
the
from
purples.
her. Yes.
And then I take my great axe and I swing at the crabby-like thingy.
All right.
Right?
So I imagine you move around so you're not cutting through Glitter Boy. You move
Right.
around Glitter Boy who's like still like, whoa, man. So you move around him and like go in with your axe to strike. Still, again, with the every time you're going to a rage, you're just glitter everywhere.
Yes.
All right, go ahead and make your attack.
Wait, what is it? I think it's 1d6, isn't it? Yeah. Wait, 1d12. What's a d12 question? I'm
first
still
roll-
new to this.
First roll a d20 to see if you can hit.
19.
Okay. Is that plus your strength as well?
No, probably not. 21.
Okay. Yes, that hits. So then you would roll your, I think you said a d12, and then you would also add the points from your rage, which I think is like a +3 or
Looks like this. It's the one that's closest to the
d20.
Okay.
You got this. Don't worry. We're all new here.
Yeah, you
It's a
don't roll
9.
that dice too often.
No, I don't.
A lot of d20s.
9.
Okay. 9. And that's plus your rage as well, correct?
Wait, what's my rage?
It should say if you're looking at D&D Beyond, if you go into your
Yeah.
bonus action, it'll say what your how many. It's like +3, I think, or +5.
Rage is +3.
+3. All right. So 9 + 3. So 12. Awesome. All right. So you you just get energized from all that hot chocolate. You're like the Energizer Bunny is just down on it. And all of a sudden you just see shards of ice kind of out of it. I need actually Walker, Glitter Boy, and you to all make dexterity saves, please.
Natural 20.
Nice.
23.
All right.
12.
12. All right. So Walker, you unfortunately you're slightly pinned. It's harder for you to move around. So you're going to take 8 cold damage. But Glitter Boy and Gwump, you're only going to take 4. So you're just able to get out of the ricochet of the ice that's coming off of this thing. You're definitely getting the sense that this is ice basically alive in whatever form it could possibly be in. And now we are up to, I'm sorry, Gwump, is there anything else you wish to do?
No.
All right. And now we're up with Walker. So now you are pinned in, but now this barbarian just came in and axed it across the face. What are you doing?
So this thing is on top of me.
It's basically pinning you against the wall. You're still upright. You're not prone, but it's attempting to like try and make you prone. Like you can feel that its weight is starting to push into its pincers and trying to push you forward on the wood. And you can actually feel the wood behind you starting to bend and splinter slightly as you are being pushed up against it.
I don't like that. Can I get my knee up like this?
You can try.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this and then.
All right, roll an unarmed attack or
Okay.
something.
Yeah. So it's a +3 to hit, so it's not great. That's a 14.
Okay. Unfortunately, your foot collides just with the ice, and you literally hear it as nothing happens. It just solid ice, and then all of a sudden you feel a slight pain as you hit solid ice.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Next up is Glitter Boy. So you just got kind of slightly pushed as Gwump came running down the stairs. What are you doing?
I am running in, laughing, like, ha, yes. Righteous man. All right, let's do this. I can get in there, right? Into the action?
You should be able to, yeah.
All right, sweet. All right, 2 attacks. Oh, first one is a 16.
All right, that hits.
And the second one is a 12.
All right. First one hits. True, you're able to it's still kind of reeling from the hit from Gwump as you're kind of coming in, but it sees you moving in for an attack as well, another one. and it just is able to kind of move its head slightly, so it misses. But go ahead and roll damage for the one that did hit.
All right, and that is a 9.
All right. All right. Next up after that is Vonik. What are you doing? Now all of a sudden you see that this creature, which was focused on you, is now focused on Walker, has him pinned against the wall, and most of your allies are now crowded around that area. You still have a line of sight, but it's going to be a little bit difficult, but you could definitely try and do something.
I'm going to shoot.
All right.
Don't roll a 1.
You got it.
27.
Nice.
Nice. That does hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
8.
All right. So all of a sudden you had your flaming arrow, right?
Yep.
All right. So you see this flame that's at the end of the arrow go across, and all of a sudden it punctures into the creature, and all of a sudden you see this smoke kind of coming out as part of the creature is starting to dissolve a little bit, and you just hear it howling, like freaking out.
What does it do?
I'm not doing it again. Good try, Jeremy. But you hear it howling. Is there anything else that you wish to do, Vonik?
The second attack.
All right, go for it, man.
18.
That does hit.
Um, 15.
15 damage.
Yep.
Awesome. Same thing.
Yep.
And again, you just hear it howling again. And we are back at the top of the order. It is now going to try. Let's see.
Does this thing even look like we've done any damage to it at all?
It does look like it's starting to get bloodied for whatever sense it could be. You do see at this point there's pools of water that are starting to gather underneath of this creature. And each time you hit it, it's happening more and more frequently. But after, especially Vonik's last hit, it is definitely not looking the greatest.
Cool.
All right, next up is going to be, it's going to try and do 2 attacks on you again, Walker.
Do it.
It is
All
at
right.
a, hold on. I'm going to use my reaction
Okay.
for protection, so it will roll at disadvantage.
All right. Good, because I just rolled a nat 20.
Yeah.
All right, so that's a 4 for the first attack.
No.
A disadvantage for all attacks.
It does. Wait, let me pull it up. It says when a creature you can see attacks a target other than you within 5 feet. I'm assuming he's within 5 feet of me.
Yeah.
You can use a reaction to impose disadvantage on the attack roll.
Okay. So I'm
like
going to
just
take
one.
that as 1. Yeah.
Yeah. It says
So it's claw attack again, or pincer attack. You see it kind of coming in again, and just misses. But this time you actually see the mouth of this creature open, and it's going to blast you.
No.
That's me?
Yeah. Does a 19 hit?
It does.
Okay.
Oh, man. Good. I might be able to go to sleep early tonight.
All right. That's going to be 17 cold damage to you.
Okay.
All of a sudden, you just see this white beam coming out of its mouth and just rain in your face, and you're just blasted almost like with the winds from like a blizzard, or one of the storms that you guys travel through on your way up here. And for a moment, you feel yourself kind of getting disoriented for a moment. I actually need you to also make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Wisdom. Okay.
Vicious.
Oh, Oh no, that is a nat 1 plus 5 is 6.
All right. So that blizzard all of a sudden starts to become very real for you. So Glitter Boy and Gwump, you actually see for a moment like Walker is like hit with this blast, and you see him like the blast has faded, but you kind of look at him for a moment, and his eyes are completely white. Walker, you can't see anything for the next your next turn.
Oof. Okay.
So any attacks you make are going to be at disadvantage.
Yep.
All right. Gwump, we are back up with you.
Do it.
How does Storm Aura work?
Oh, is what? I'm sorry.
Well, for being a level 9, I have Storm Aura, where I can control lightning from the sky. I kind of like to use it,
right.
But I don't know how it works.
Does it say on D&D Beyond how it works? Just because I'm not familiar with it.
I have it.
Okay, thank you.
So,
It says, I gain a 10-foot aura effect when you start your rage, and as a bonus action, well, since I'm already raging, when activated, the creature of my choice in my aura takes lightning damage.
Okay.
Dexterity DC save of 16, half
All
damage
right.
on my success.
So all of a sudden, this, despite the purple glitter that is just still shining like out from you while you're in this rage, you all of a sudden feel the electric pulse of energy. And all of a sudden the area gets warm and you're able to focus. So you can do that if you wish. And it needs to make a what kind of save?
A dexterity.
All right.
Saving.
And I will actually say it'll be at disadvantage because it currently has Walker Penstert. It does not. It's a 9. So was it due?
1d6 lightning damage. That's it.
Okay. And is this a bonus action or an action?
Is that action?
Okay.
Action. So
Actually, I think.
1.
Actually, it's a bonus action.
That's what I was wondering.
Yep.
All right. So then you would still get an attack in too. So if you want to go ahead and roll attack as well.
Okay, I'm gonna swing at it again then.
Okay.
With my giant axe. 5, 6, 7, 8.
8 to hit.
How do I know if it hit?
Got to roll a d20 and then add your strength.
Yeah, that's right. I always forget that part.
Yep.
All
So
good.
19 to hit.
Okay. Yes, that hits.
And then I had an 8 before.
The 8 does not hit.
Okay.
So you do come on, and you can roll damage for that as well.
7.
All right.
Is that including your strength mod and then your raging plus 3?
12.
All right. Yeah, this thing is taking another hit. It's still not looking that great. Next up is Zachariah. You are up.
So finally, coming down the stairs, moving a little slowly, I see the state of affairs. This thing's looking kind of rough.
Yeah.
I guess Walker's looking the most rough of my crew. What about, is this like the only thing through the window? Are there like more of these things taking on
No,
the
this
town?
is the only thing through the window, but I'll say like you take a moment to kind of like as a free action kind of look. You can see that there are more of these things outside. But you also hear the noise level is starting to go down a bit. So either these things might be leaving or there might not be any more people out there. You're not exactly sure. It's a little bit chaotic.
Got it. Okay. I will step up and I'll be like, I'm a little late to the party, but I do appreciate that you saved me some shellfish. And I will summon a spiritual weapon, which will be a flaming trident.
Nice.
Above the crab.
Mm-hmm.
And I will whack it.
All right.
Let me get spell attack. Got it. So it is 7 plus, it's not going to hit, 11.
11 misses.
All right. I will grimace to myself, and then I will, as a action, cantrip it up with Sacred Flame. So Dex of 16.
All right, Dex of 16. Here we go. 1.
Yeah. That's
I was like,
going.
oh, I don't even, because I was going to roll with disadvantage. I don't even need to do that. There's no lower than a 1.
That'll be 10 radiant.
All right. Okay. So with your trident attack, you're still kind of shaking some of the sleep out of your eyes a little bit. It's a little bit groggy. You're kind of getting your bearings. But upon seeing your teammate in dire straits, you're able to kind of focus in and immediately Sacred Flame into that area, and immediately it just erupts. And you actually see at this point one of its pinsters completely like turns into water and falls to the floor. It's still up, but it's looking very, very, very bloodied for every sense of the word. All right. Anything else you wish to do, Zechariah? Okay. Walker.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I missed that. I just saw that Mountain Girl 80 subscribed, and I wanted to say thank you for the subscription.
Thank you.
Thank you for the subscription.
All right.
That's all Zachariah does. Is the rest of his action is to thank.
Yeah, he just all of a sudden just yells, "Thank you!"
Turns to the camera, breaks the fourth wall.
Yep, yep. So Walker, all of a sudden, your vision in front of you, it just fades into white.
Yeah.
You've heard tale of this before, but never have experienced it. So it's a bit alarming. You can still feel the creature is pinning you against the wall, although now your left shoulder is free.
Yeah. I'm gonna scream out, I just can't see a darn thing. And I'm gonna try and I guess free myself again. I stupidly made this a purely archery build, so I don't have any melee weapons.
Okay, with an arrow.
Yeah, also I'll allow you if you wanted to kind of where your arrows are, you could easily I'll allow that.
Okay, cool.
Again, it'll be a disadvantage because you can't see, but I will definitely allow that for you.
All right. 13 and 8. These are just straight rolls. 3. So yeah, I'm sure I missed.
No, you're kind of not exactly sure. You're able to kind of, it takes you a minute. You're able to finally get an arrow because you're kind of being pushed up against the wall so much. It's kind of hard to reach out, and just the angle of it, it's hard to kind of be able to make a hit. All right. So next up is Glitter Boy. What are you doing?
I'm going to How's Walker looking? How bad?
He is bloodied.
All right.
But not too bad. Not terrible.
You say that now.
Uh-huh.
All right. I will swing twice with my holy weapon because I forgot it's emitting a bright light.
All right.
With positive energy.
For it.
16
hit
and a nat 1.
All right. So you come in strong. You see that Walker is just at this point he's kind of like his head is down as he's trying to like use any sort of perception, whether it be sound or through movement, being able to pick up where this creature is at, and you see him kind of deftly trying to attack it. When you come in with your sword and swing,
Flail. It's a flail.
Flail. I'm sorry. There's a lot of things going on. My brain's kind of all over the place.
You didn't know.
Doing how much damage?
10.
All right. And you actually see this thing stumbles back at this point, actually losing its grip on Walker, who he doesn't fall prone, but you see him like stumble slightly and kind of lean against the back wall for support, now newly freed. And the ice crab again yells, and it looks in your direction. as you come down again, but this time missing it. You actually, since you rolled a 1, right?
No.
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
So the water underneath it that's been gathering, you're kind of coming in true and still kind of getting your bearings, and you end up slipping and falling onto the ground as this is happening.
Fine.
Vanak, you are up, and now you have a clear line of sight. So this creature is backed off of Walker.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot it again.
Kill
Alright.
it. Kill it.
27 again.
Hit.
Nine.
9 damage. All right. How are you hitting this thing? Because how do you want to do it? You got it, man.
Straight shot to the head.
All right. You hear it wailing, and all of a sudden your eyes just lock on the target of its head. The arrow looses right through its head, and you see it kind of like for a moment you hear this like death cry, and then all of a sudden it just into water.
What kind of death cry?
You're funny.
I am. I just want to hear you make more noises. Yeah. Ooh, that's a good one.
Smitty's face of like, what the? Yes, I do sound effects in my games. And you guys are now out of initiative. Walker, it takes you a good 10, 15 minutes, but all of a sudden your eyes slowly, you can start to be able to make out shapes. You're coming out of a haze a bit. But eventually you're able to make out your comrades. It probably takes you the better part of an hour to get your vision back, but
dude, you look like horrible, man.
I know.
Here, let me touch you.
As you said, I do the kind of like the
No,
dog.
no.
Is it corgi? Like,
no, I'm gonna make my hand glow and like, help you with some of these wounds, man.
Yeah, well, that makes a lot of sense. I appreciate it. Yes, please. I was knocking at death's door there for a little bit before all you were able to come in. So
I'm gonna Mr. Miyagi this. How much do you need to get to full?
34.
All right, I'm gonna heal you at 34.
All right. Thank you, sir.
there you go. So you're able to take stock. At this point, what are the rest of you doing?
Anybody else like not feeling the best, man?
Kinda.
Come here, man. Let me touch you. And I'm just gonna boop you on the nose. Go, boop. You're just gonna heal 1 point, but it's better than nothing.
I'm gonna run to the window and see if there's anything still out there, and like basically like lead with my spiritual weapon that is still up, and throw that out the window to see if I see anything else that's running around.
Okay. Are you trying to do this quietly?
No.
Okay. Go over to the window. And at this point, the streets outside, you can see there's now large mounds of snow all over the place. Everything. The streets are clear of people, but you do see 3 or 4 more of these creatures now walking the street. And it looks like they are now heading towards the spire. And as you're watching, Zachariah, it looks like they are heading out of town.
Well, the current danger seems to have passed, but if we want to follow these several-legged enemies of ours, now will be the time to do so.
And with that, we're going to take our break.
Ooh.
All right, guys. So we're going to take a short break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. Does that work with everybody? All
Works.
right. We'll be back shortly.